Today we are starting new topic, that is physiology of reflexes part 1. In the previous lectures we have learned regarding physiology of descending tract. The descending tracts are ending ultimately on the spinal cord on either of the three neurons, alpha motor neuron, gamma motor neuron and interneurons, and they're influencing their output. So now let's come down again to spinal cord and see how the spinal cord has got important function in the regulation of reflexes. So in the reflex arc, basically different components are there. The first component is sense organ. So here in case of the muscle, the sense organ is basically the muscle spindle. It's like for the touch, pain, temperature, we have got different receptors. Similarly, for change in muscle length, we have got receptors in the muscle. These are called as muscle spindle, and they are sensitive to only change in muscle length only, increase or decrease. So this sense organ here is muscle spindle. There is generation of action potential in the muscle spindle, that is called as a generator potential. From here it will lead to generation of action potential in the nerve, which will travel along the sensory nerve to the spinal cord. There it will have a synapse at the spinal cord. From here effective neuron. So here it is a motor neuron, either alpha or gamma motor neuron, which will then there is generation of action potential there. It will have synaptic connection with the at neuromuscular junction. Then it will lead to generation of action potential in the muscle, and ultimately action potential in the muscle and response as the muscle contraction. So this is the basic reflex arc and the reflex action. Now just again to recall this, our basic reflex arc. This is the alpha motor neuron, which is supplying our extrafusal fibers. This is the gamma motor neuron, which is supplying the muscle spindle. So whenever there is stimulation of muscle spindle, impulse will travel from sensory nerve to the spinal cord, and it will stimulate alpha motor neuron, which will lead to contraction of the muscle through extrafusal fiber stimulation. This is called as the reflex action. Then there are descending tracts. Some of them are ending on alpha and some are ending on gamma motor neuron. So those ending on gamma motor neuron will lead to stimulation of muscle spindle. Mind well. So they will stimulate muscle spindle. This will lead to generation of current or action potential in the muscle spindle, which will travel along the sensory nerve back to spinal cord, and it will stimulate alpha motor neuron, which will reflexly lead to muscle contraction. That means stimulation of gamma motor neuron will lead to muscle contraction indirectly through sensory pathway and alpha motor neuron. And some tracts are directly ending and controlling alpha motor neuron. Their effect is direct, they will lead to direct contraction of muscle. So that's why alpha motor neuron is also called as final common pathway. It is the main lower motor neuron. So ultimately our muscle contraction depends on activity of alpha motor neuron. So the inputs converging on motor neurons have three major functions basically. First is to induce voluntary activity, then to adjust body posture, and to make movements smooth and precise. So these are the three important functions of motor neurons, whether it is an alpha motor neuron or cranial motor neuron, which is in the head neck region, supplying the head neck region muscle. So posture is basically continually adjusted not only before but also during movement by information carried in descending brainstem pathways and peripheral afferents. So peripheral afferents coming from the muscle spindle are constantly giving feedbacks to the spinal cord, and they are modifying activity of the alpha motor neuron, and in this way the muscle contractions are modified and movements are made smooth. Now this is the dissection of our muscle. You can see here, this is the muscle spindle in the center of the muscle. You can see here the fibers are there. Now here a close look or schematic diagram of muscle spindle. This in the center looking like a bag, so name is given nuclear bag fibers, and on the side fibers are arranged like a chain, so these are called as nuclear chain fibers. Simple names. So this is the muscle spindle. We have dissected out a muscle, and in the center we are having this receptor called as a muscle spindle. So in the center, nuclear back fibers appear like a bag. There is a nuclear chain fiber. The fibers arising from the nuclear back fiber, these are called as primary efferent or IA. So they are single. So these are IA. So these are single only. And those coming from chain fiber and back fiber combined, they are secondary fiber. These are the group 2 fibers. So like this, primary and secondary efferents are there arising from muscle spindle. So even if muscle spindle appears to be a single, but it has divisions are there. Nuclear chain fiber, nuclear back fibers. From nuclear back fibers, primary efferents are arising and secondary efferents are arising from both. So this is the diagram given in your textbook of physiology. So you can see the bags in the center and arrangement parallel chain here. So this is the stretch reflex. Now this is our muscle spindle. This is our main muscle bulk. Now I have shown this black fibers arising from the center, from the back. These are the primary efferent IA fibers are there. Usually they are single and they synapse with alpha motor neurons directly. And this blue which I am showing coming from either sides, these are the secondary efferent fibers. They are coming from the chain and center. But you can see here they are giving some fibers to our sensory relay neurons from where our ascending tracts are arising. This red which I am showing, these are the gamma motor neuron which are supplying our muscle spindle. So these are the ascending tracts. So the descending tract. So this is in general the scheme of the stretch reflex, primary efferents and secondary efferents. So the main function of basically muscle spindle is, muscle spindle and its reflex connections constitute a feedback device that operates to maintain muscle length. If the muscle is stretched, spindle discharge increases and reflex shortening is produced. Muscle will show contraction. On the contrary, if the muscle is shortened without a change in gamma motor neuron discharge, spindle efferent activity decreases and muscle relaxes. So it works in both. If the muscle shortens, then also it works, and muscle lengthens, then also it works. So like a feedback loop is generated from the muscle spindle to maintain the muscle length back to normal. So this simple stretch reflex is that are triggered by activation of sensory receptor. It has got two components. So let's see, when muscle is contracting, there is change in length, and rate of change in length also is there. So dynamic response shows that primary endings signal both length and rate of change in length of the muscle. How fast, how slow. So this is the dynamic changes in the rate. Other component is static response. Secondary endings signal only the length of muscle. Means once muscle contracts and length changes, now new length is generated. That again is a constant for some period of time. So stretch reflex has got two components. One is dynamic component, in which there is changing length of the muscle initially, which is very fast, and after that the length remains constant. For example, if the muscle is contracted, it will remain contracted for some period of time, or if it lengthens for some period of time. So that from there also, in both conditions, impulses are passing from muscle spindle to spinal cord. Initially, when muscle is contracting, that time also responses are going, and when muscle contracts, that time also impulses are going. Now let's see. So this is, I have shown now contraction. So you can see the muscle is contracted. It has decreased in length, or muscle lengthens. So here I have shown length is increased. So this is called as a dynamic contraction or relaxation of a muscle. So in either, what happens, impulse generated in the nuclear back fiber from primary efferent, impulse will go from here, it will stimulate alpha motor neuron, and impulse will come back and it will modify the contraction. So this is called as a dynamic stretch reflex. So it is at very initial part. Moment you are giving a stimulation to the muscle spindle, The contraction or relaxation, what is happening initially when there is changing is there, so that is being picked up by the primary efferents and it gives feedback and modifies the contraction. So that is called as a dynamic stretch reflex. So dynamic stretch reflex is elicited by potent dynamic signals transmitted from primary sensory endings of muscle spindle caused by rapid stretch or unstretch. Thus the reflex function to oppose sudden change in muscle length. So dynamic stretch reflex is over within a fraction of a second after the muscle has been stretched to its new length. Then a weaker static stretch reflex continues for a prolonged period of thereafter. This reflex is elicited by continuous static receptor signals transmitted by both primary and secondary endings. For example, I'm sitting now, I'm suddenly I stand. So during standing there is a contraction of muscle, but when I stand, muscle is again contracted, but length will remain same. So when I'm changing my posture, that time there is a dynamic response, and when I maintain a posture, that is a static response. So in this you can see the muscle is already contracted, and this length is reduced now after stimulation. Now in this what is happening, impulses are coming from secondary efferents as well as primary efferents. So here you can see they are going to higher centers also from ascending tract for coordination. Now this will go to the motor center, and if you just recall our scheme, the motor coordination centers are there. They will take information from basal ganglion and cerebellum, and output will come down from descending tract, and they will convey what amount of contraction we needed. Now it is ultimately going back from either gamma motor neuron or alpha motor neuron to muscle contraction. So they will modify the tone. So in this way, this loop mechanism is working. So this is called a static stretch reflex. So the importance of static stretch reflex is that it causes the degree of muscle contraction to remain reasonably constant, except when a person's nervous system specially wills otherwise. Normally a small oscillation occurs in this feedback loop. This is called as a physiological tremor. It has got low amplitude, barely visible to the naked eye, and frequency approximately 10 Hz. So this physiological tremor is a normal phenomena, but when person becomes very anxious, it becomes visible. You can observe yourself when you are anxious, you can have some tremors on the hand. So these are exaggerated physiological tremor. So in the young individuals, especially the young people going for examination, you can observe them. So they are nothing pathological, they are only physiological. Because of anxiety they are being exaggerated, but under normal condition they are present but not visible to the naked eye. So this is nothing but because of influence of dynamic and static stretch reflex, which are giving feedback and maintaining the muscle contraction to the normal level. So reflex basically maintains the muscle length by this loop mechanism. So stimulus arising from the muscle spindle, initially dynamic response. When you are giving a stretch, for example you are giving a tap, impulse will come, or impulse coming from up. For example, idea in the mind, I want to lift my pen, so impulse will go to the muscle spindle. So this will come down from alpha motor neuron. So this is the reflex action. So from gamma motor neuron also influence is being going, but it is through sensory nerve coming back at the alpha motor neuron, and it will lead to muscle contraction. And from descending tracts ending on alpha motor neuron, this will go directly. So ultimately, so muscle spindle is basically maintaining the muscle length in response to the different stimulations coming to the muscle, either externally from a tap or internally from descending tract. So ultimately it maintains the muscle length. So these are the two components of stretch reflex, dynamic and static stretch reflex. So here we are finishing the stretch reflex. In the next lecture we will discuss regarding other stretch reflex, that is inverse stretch reflex and reciprocal innervation.